Hello everyone and welcome back to Nathan and Deer's Guide to Everything. Today we've got another episode of Legend Forge for you, and we're going to be covering Harley Quinn, or Dr. Harley in Frances Quinzel. This is Legend Forge, where we take characters from pop culture, whether that be movies, games, TV shows, whatever it is, we try and cover it over here. And a lot of these are requests from subscribers, so if you have a request, please leave it down in the comments, and of course, like, comment, sub. At the time of making this video, we're at 99 subscribers, so thank you all for all your support so far. I won't ramble on anymore. Let's just get into it.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to go number 2.
Okay, so over into D&D Beyond, we go to Harley Quinn, who we've got here, and this is a real mishmash of classes. I'll let you know that straight out of the gate. So we've got all the optionals turned on just so I can use my homebrew stuff for today. And for a race, we've gone with variant human, and quite honestly, languages I didn't really know, so I just put Zemnian because I don't believe Harley Quinn speaks any other languages. Maybe crazy, that's all. But we've gone for an ability score increase of Dex and Constitution from being a human. The skill we've gone for is Insight, because she was in fact obviously a trained psychiatrist before she went a bit crazy and met Mr. J. So yeah, Insight for that first skill. And we've also gone for the Lucky Feat, which I think for someone like Harley is perfect. She seems to get herself out of quite a few scrapes, even when like superhumans are involved in things. So that's why we've gone for the Lucky Feat there, just some free re-rolls basically. Moving on to the class, you can see it's a bit of a mishmash, but hear me out, I think this works perfectly. So we started out with a rogue, because she is, quite frankly, a criminal, which a lot of rogues tend to be, you know, stealthy and whatnot, but that's the thing, she's not stealthy really, at all. So we're going to kind of lean into that a little bit. At hit points we get a 1d8 as a rogue. Previously we've gone acrobatics, intimidation, deception and persuasion. She is very, very charismatic, just in the way that she is a clown. She is crazy basically, but she often gets her own way, whether that be through persuasion, kind of strutting her stuff, or deception, just straight up lying, or intimidation, because she's got a screw loose, so she's pretty scary. And finally acrobatics, because what I could find out about her history was that she was very athletic and lithe, and obviously you see that in her fighting style and things like that, so I think that fits perfectly. For expertise as a rogue, we've gone for insight and acrobatics, again just leaning into the two sides of her personality. That's very athletic, very acrobatic fighter in all capacities in, I guess, the stuff we see her in now, and then the insight from her psychological studied background. We've got sneak attack. Didn't really use it very often, I don't think. Thieves can't, I guess it would just be her New York accent in the films. Continuing on, cunning action just makes us a little bit more mobile. We can take a disengage, hide or dash as a bonus action. It's just fun for just moving around the battlefield. Steady aim is an optional class feature. It means basically we can take aim from a distance and give ourselves advantage. The roguish archetype we've gone for is actually inquisitive, which I think she is. Even that word just it describes her quite well. I think the amount she lies, she would have this ear for deceit, as it were. She can be a bit naive at times from the movies and stuff, but I think this does represent her quite well. So we've developed a talent for picking out lies, and whenever we make an insight check to determine whether the creature is lying, we cheat a roll of a 7 or lower on the d20 as an 8. So again, this just comes into the psychologist side of her professional career before she met the Joker. We've also got eye for detail. Again, she is smart, she is switched on, and that's a bonus to perception or intelligence to uncover or decipher clues. She's a smart cookie. This one's a bit of a stretch. This is insightful fighting, and this is essentially just studying a target so that we can get sneak attack on them, and this is more mechanical really. I'm not sure this is something that she would actively do, but it's just what we get at this level basically. For ability score improvement, at 4th level we've gone for Wisdom and Charisma, and we've got some odd ability score improvements, so just keep up with us there. At 5th level we get Uncanny Dodge, which just means we can halve some attack, and again, she is human, and she's dealing with like superhuman things all the time, so this is just good, so you can just survive longer if you're properly role-playing as Harley Quinn. Expertise, at 6th level we've gone for Persuasion and Deception, which I think sums her up perfectly. That's done it for the rogue, and now we're going to move over to the College of Eloquence Bard, of which we've got 5 levels in. So we've got some additional bard spells. We get 2 more proficiencies. I've gone for the bagpipes. I've no idea. I couldn't find anything about her playing any instruments, but there you go. I've gone for animal handling as well, because she does actually have 2 pet hyenas. Right? Ridiculous. But that's why we've gone for that. Obviously, we get a bit of spell casting, but we're going to flavour it all almost like an artificer would and just make them practical instead. And I'll show you the spells I've picked once we get into the character sheet. We get Jack of all trades as a bard. She's, like I said, she's just generally lucky. She's not particularly bad at anything, just being a human. So this fits perfectly. Song of Rest, she does play a bit of a support role in the sense that she keeps the morale of the team up, I think, a lot of the time, in what I've seen her in anyway, as well as being an assistant to the Joker, so perhaps you could just say that this is just her encouragement for the Joker, whatever it might be. For the Bard College, as I said, we've gone for one from the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, and that is College of Eloquence, and I just think it fits so well. So we've got expertise now in animal handling, which we just picked up, and medicine. She has a doctorate, she has a doctor's degree. Medicine fits perfectly, and again, she is the psychiatrist, as I mentioned. So Silver Tongue, we are a master of saying the right thing at the right time. She always seems to get out of a jam, and this is, I guess, in direct reference for me to Birds of Prey. When Ewan McGregor's the villain in that, I can't quite remember the name of it now, I'll put it on screen here. Basically, when he's about to kill her, she still manages to get herself out of the jam somehow. So I always feel like she does have a little bit of a silver tongue for sure. We also get unsettling words, so we can spin words laced with magic that unsettle a creature and cause it to doubt itself. I think this is true as well. Often all of her intimidation can be laced with a joke of some kind instead, but you know there is a sinister undertone to almost all of it. But essentially means we can roll a bardic inspiration die and lower their next saving throw by that amount. So it's absolutely huge. Really, really, really good. Ability score improvement in the Bard. At 4th level, we've gone for a double into Dexterity, and because we need to get that maxed as soon as we can. And we also get Font of Inspiration at 5th level, which means we get our Bardic Inspiration back on a short or long rest. Really, really good. So we can just burn through them, basically. Now we've got 7 levels in Gunslinger Fighter. She does use guns, sometimes non-lethal, sometimes lethal. We've seen both, but I think it all fits perfectly. So fighters, obviously we know we get some extra proficiencies in armor, but we're not going to be wearing that, as you've probably seen by our last class here. We've gone for fighting style archery. That actually gives us a +2 to ranged weapons, which includes our pistols and things like that. So that's really, really good. Second wind gives us some more health. Action surge gets an extra action. Martial archetype, as I said, I've gone for the gunslinger, which gives us firearm proficiency. The gunsmith feature, which means we can craft ammo, repair our weapons, reload, things like this. We know how to use guns, basically, in the D&D 5e world. And I won't go too much into detail into that because I have a fighter video that came out a couple of weeks ago. Go and watch that if you want all the details. I'll just glance over them for now. For our trick shots, we've gone for Dazing Shot, Deadeye Shot, and Disarming Shot. Dazing Shot basically gives the other creature disadvantage if they fail a saving throw on their next attacks, and Deadeye Shot gives us a guaranteed advantage, incredible with our points into Rogue. And Disarming Shot, Harley usually comes up against humanoid creatures for the most part. There are those kind of otherworldly space monsters, but like for the most part she is up against other humans with guns chasing her down or whatever. So this is perfect for that, making them drop a weapon or whatever it might be. At 4th level, we've gone for an ability score improvement, and we've actually gone for a feat, which is Gunner, which means you don't have disadvantage at close range. We ignore loading properties and increases our dex by 1 to take it up to our maximum, I believe, at this level. At 5th level, we get an extra attack. Fantastic. Ability score improvement. At level 6, we get Charisma and Wisdom. And at 7th level, we get the Quick Draw feature, which allows us to add our proficiency bonus to our initiative. So we should always be going first, basically. We can also stow a firearm and draw another one as a single object interaction on our turn. And that's kind of the nitty-gritty of the mechanics, really, around firearms. Finally, to round this level 20 character out, we've gone for a Monk, which, and bear with me here, gives us an armoured defence, because let's be honest, she does not wear armour. She basically just wears hot pants and a t-shirt most of the time. It gives us martial arts, but we also get this new optional class feature, which gives us a dedicated weapon. Now, usually Harley Quinn's weapon is basically a giant mallet, which we would not have, I guess, the best time with, seeing as our strength is actually our dump stat and our dexterity is our highest. And what taking a dip into Monk allows us to do is make a warhammer, for example, which would be flavoured as the giant mallet that she uses, into our dedicated weapon, which means you can use our dex bonuses instead for all these strength-based weapons. So just incredible. We also get key at second level. Now you could just, I'd say, flavour this as basically a luck point, and come on, let's be honest, some of the stuff she gets away with in the movies and things is definitely a little bit above what a human can capably do, so you could flavour a key point usage as something like that if you wanted to empower one of your abilities. And we also get a little bit more movement. We get unarmoured movement as long as we're not wearing armour. So that rounds out our class choices, and I know it's a bit mishmash, but trust me, when you see the character sheet, it's incredible. Going through our ability scores, I've gone for a bit of a heroic set with a bit of a nerf on one side of it. So I've actually gone for 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and then rather than 10 we've gone for a 9, because I think she does have a weakness. She's not particularly strong. She is just a person, basically, with acrobatics and the greatest villain in the Batman universe, the Joker, on her side most of the time as well. But we've gone for Dex 16, Charisma up next, Wisdom of 14 for the insight and medicine rolls, which she's definitely an expertise in due to her past. Intelligence of 13 because she's not dumb. Constitution of 12 because she would be lacking in that area a little bit, and then a strength of 9. For our description, we've actually gone for a criminal spy background, and that gives us proficiency with stealth and with medicine. This is where we pick up our medicine proficiency from. We got expertise in one of our classes before. Stealth, I think we wouldn't use so much. She likes to announce her entrances, but rather than homebrew an entire background, I figured I'd just go with it because criminal, that is what she is. I have actually, in the Legend Forge, for once, actually added some characteristics into this for her because I thought some of them really did fit. So personality trait, I don't pay attention to the risks in a situation, never tell me the odds. I think that fits her perfectly. She doesn't really weigh up the risks, she just does things. That's very her. Ideals, freedom, chains are meant to be broken, as are those who would forge them. Definitely she's not one for being chained up. I guess the Suicide Squad films are a great way to sum that up. She's trying to reduce her sentence by doing good things for the world. And flaw, if there's a plan, I'll forget it, and if I don't forget it, I'll ignore it. I think that's very, very her. She's very charismatic and she's quite selfish and thinks about herself, I think, quite a lot. And so we finally arrive at the character sheet, and now look at these bonuses on these skills down the middle. And I know we're level 20, and I know we've got some levels in Bard, but I think this is just incredible. 17, 15, 15, plus 10 with an advantage, I'll show you in a minute. Medicine plus 15, persuasion plus 16. I think it's ridiculous. Passive insight of 25. We've got a plus 11 to our dex saving throws. I love it. I absolutely love it. Our hit points are pretty abysmal at 130 for a 20th level character. That's not great, but everything else looks fantastic. And you can see we've got a fair few weapons hovering around the middle there. And if I make the mallet our dedicated weapon just there. So I think let's take a look now at the spells that I've chosen, and I'll run you through the idea behind these. So we've got friends. She seems to make friends easily. Again, it's just charisma. I feel like she can get away with almost anything by just using kind of this charm and this craziness that she has. Prestidigitation is regarded as a minor magical effect, but I imagine just with her trickery and her clowniness, basically, she may have like a component pouch of things to just produce small wonders as opposed to magical effects like blowing powder in someone's face or just something. And again, she is not magical, but I think these, you could get away with using them if you come up with a justification to your DM as to what is happening if you're playing this completely non-magical character. We've also got Vicious Mockery, and again, this isn't particularly magical in any way. It's literally we just unleash a string of insults at somebody, which is laced with an enchantment, as the wording says, but you could just say, I scream at this person. They make a wisdom save or take some psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll, which is really fun. We've gone for Animal Friendship just because she manages to somehow keep 2 hyenas on a leash, basically. They're like her best mates, which is ridiculous. We've gone for Charm Person, which I think she can absolutely do, and it comes into the friend side of it as well. Again, I wouldn't play this off as an enchantment. I'd play this off as like maybe flirting with them or threatening them until they're on her side almost. We've actually got Featherfall, which is a weird one, but if you think about it, she did fall off a huge platform into a vat of liquid, basically, and not die. So Featherfall, works, I think. We've gone for sleep, which I would probably disguise as like a sleep bomb almost, or a sleep powder that we like blow into someone's face or throw a small bomb along the floor and it kind of ejects into a room, as opposed to just a magic spell. But I think that fits perfectly. She is known to use strange gases and poisons and things like that. We've got Tasha's hideous laughter, which is perfect because multiple times as I was doing research for this, I saw a laughing gas pop up. She'd often have it like drugged on the end of a spike on her hands when she touched someone. It made them laugh as like a poison, but she also used just normal gas bombs as well, so perfect for that. Second level, we've gone for Crown of Madness, which all these things would just be mechanical in nature instead. I think, again, just a jet of gas or a bomb or something aimed at one particular creature, and then they would basically go mad and crazed. You know, there is some supernatural elements obviously to the DC universe, without a doubt, so I don't feel like this is too far of a stretch to say there could be a gas that made someone go crazy or turn them evil for a moment, whatever it might be. We've gone for knock, which I would absolutely flavour as just a stick of dynamite, basically. If there's a small lock, we just wire it with C4 and explosive, and as it said, it can be heard up to 300 feet away, so it's an explosion. You could pass that as an explosion, absolutely, and that's why I said she's not really stealthy, let's be honest. It's not her style. Pyrotechnics kind of fills out that gap as well of her not being stealthy and liking explosions and chaos. So we've gone for pyrotechnics, so we choose a non-magical flame that we can see and extinguish it and create fireworks, smoke, whatever it might be. And again, you could just flavour this as she lights a firework on it. You really have to just... This is what I like about creating these characters. You really have to stretch what D&D can do and the flavour that you can pull from usually just not a mundane spell, as it were, or a spell words as written. You can flavour it however you like. As long as the effects stay the same, the game will still run smoothly and be fair. That is all the spells I have for you for now, and I think all of them are justified. I'm sure you'll agree. And just so you see, plus 11 to our initiative, and that's a 30 right there. That's monstrous. Moving over to our inventory, I've made a few items, not tons, because there's just so many that she's famous for, and I think most of them you could flavour as spells, like I mentioned with the bombs and things like that. First of all, we've got Dust of Sneezing and Choking, which I thought just fits, and this is canon item. I didn't make this. This is in the game. I would recommend it. We've got the Dust of Deliciousness, which I figured she could use if she could drug someone, put it on some cupcakes or something. That seems very Harley Quinn. It's a little bit of fun, basically. And the first homebrew item we've got is Quinn's Fun Gun, which is something I've made, and I'll read it for you. A heavy iron single-barreled handheld grenade launcher, very much like she uses in the newest films. This item, upon close inspection, is revealed to be a non-lethal firearm, but while wielding the fun gun, you gain the following benefits. You have advantage on charisma intimidation checks against a creature you have grappled or restrained. So this would be like a interrogation scene or something like that, gun to the head kind of thing, and tell me everything you know, but the ammo types are all non-lethal. So we've got bang. As an action, you can load the fun gun and fire a comical flag reading bang. When you pull the trigger within 5 feet of the target, they must make a wisdom saving throw DC 15. On a failure, they are frightened of you for 1 minute and have a -5 penalty to the next saving throw made within that time. The creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. I think it's really, really fun. It just essentially just unnerves whoever you have grappled, restrained, torturing, whatever it might be. It's just good fun. We've also got the confetti cannon, which releases a 20-foot cone of colourful confetti, and each creature in that area has disadvantage on wisdom perception checks and disadvantage on their next attack made within the area as the confetti begins to settle quite quickly. Just a fun, like, obscuring one. We have glitter. As an action, you can load the fun gun and fire a glitter bomb. When you do, you fire a glitter capsule and choose a point within 30 feet. Upon detonation, each creature within a 15-foot sphere must make a dexterity saving throw DC 14. On a failed save, they are blinded to the end of their next turn, and the next attack against them has advantage, unless they use an action to clean off the glitter. They suffer no effects on a success. That's a fun one and pretty powerful, actually, the blinding effect. Next up, we have Powder Bomb. As an action, we can load the fun gun and fire a powder bomb. When you fire it, you choose a point within 30 feet as opposed to rolling to hit. Upon detonation, a 15-foot sphere of thick coloured powder explodes, and the area is considered heavily obscured until the start of your second turn after firing, which basically means you can't see in or out of that area for the duration. which I would imagine, you know, would be about 10-15 seconds before it starts to disperse a bit. So that's why I went second turn after firing. And finally, we have the beanbag. As an action, you can load the gun to fire a non-lethal beanbag. Make a ranged weapon attack using the standard hand mortar statistics, which I'll show you in a minute, and on a hit, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 14. On a failed save, they are stunned until the end of their next turn. That's really powerful, but a low DC. So again, if you're using a level 20 character, I would expect that they'd have a decent saving throw, to be honest, so it'd probably be alright. But the hand mortar statistics for us are plus 13, so pretty damn good. We're not going to miss at this level. Next up, we have Good Night, which I have made legendary, but there's kind of a delay effect in D&D Beyond with Homebrew, so this would be a legendary item. And this is the very famous baseball bat. We have it marked down as a dedicated weapon, which means we can use our dexterity instead of our strength bonus while wielding it. It is essentially a skinned quarterstaff, and it's a well-used bat with a classic Harley Quinn red and black pattern at the base, something a little lighter than a mallet, but just as deadly. And there's a typo there, I will fix that. You have +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. While attuned to this magic weapon, you gain the following benefits. When you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, they must make a Constitution saving throw DC 11. On a failed save, the creature is stunned to the end of its next turn. And that's on every attack, bear in mind, hence the DC is so low. It is just a bat at the end of the day. And before you make a melee attack with this weapon, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If you do so, the attack hits, it deals +10 damage. That is a sharp shooter kind of built into it, and this comes from the accuracy used. This uses this a lot. One of the moments I read about was to hit Batman square on the head with this particular baseball bat and proper buggered him up. And then we've got a little quote on there from what it says on there: "Hush little baby, don't say a word. Mama's going to kill you for the whole damn world." And that is inscribed on the bat in the new movies. And last but not least, we have Harley Quinn's mallet, also attunable, and is a dedicated weapon and has 3 charges. And this is a skinned warhammer. Again, we can use this because of dedicated weapon, thank God for the monk. An oversized wooden circus hammer emblazoned with a red and black Harley Quinn pattern with a deep blue wrapped leather handle. It shouldn't be, but it is very effective. You get a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon, and when we hit, it deals an extra 2d6 bludgeoning damage, so just very, very effective out of the gate. Additionally, we can spend a charge to attempt to knock the target down. If the target is larger or smaller, it must make a strength saving throw DC 18. On failed save, you knock the target prone, and you can use your reaction to attack the prone target again as part of this feature. All charges reset after completing a long rest. So just deadly, and it goes into this thing of just repeatedly hitting something while they're on the floor when she goes into like one of her mad sprees, basically. That's the magic items out the way, so just a couple more things to mention. We have the pistols here, which, as I say, Pistol Alexandra, this would just be Harley's handguns. She uses handguns a lot in the latest TV series, and the mortars and things like that. She uses a lot of just firearms, so that all makes sense there. She's also known for using daggers, which I just haven't included on here because we've already got a lot to deal with. But she's very, very versatile, and this is a very well-rounded character, actually. Everything other than the hit points, I think this is very feasible to play. You could play this character and be very effective at what you do. We've got some great damage. We've still got 2 attacks per action. We get sneak attack. All these things just combine to make a fantastic, crazy, well-rounded, but smart character. So it's an all-in-one, basically. But that's it for today. Feel free to search these weapons on D&D Beyond. They will be updated, removed of typos and all those bits by the time you see it and want to search for it when this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you can. Yeah, I'd really appreciate any subscriptions. Like I said, we're at 99 subscribers at the time of recording this, so fingers crossed this convinces one of you lovely people to sub, and like I said, comment with any characters you want me to cover in the future. This has been Natha and Dia's Guide to Everything. We've got some great stuff coming up soon. I'm really excited to show you. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to go number 2.